We move on to inspiration of a different kind now. There's a judge in Mecklenburg County with an amazing story. She was just 10 years old when she immigrated to this country from Poland. Carolina Impact's Tanisha Johnson has more on the immigrant who beat the odds to make her dreams come true.
Although just a few months in office, Mecklenburg County District Court Judge Paulina Havelka is at ease presiding in her courtroom. She delivers justice for families and those involved in domestic violence cases. To serve here in this way was her dream.
And it took 20 years of hard work, but it was worth every minute of it. And I'm asking for your vote for District Court Judge in Mecklenburg County.
Havelka ran for office 3 times before she succeeded. She knew she wanted to make a difference from the bench, so she didn't give up. But on the day she was sworn in,
I couldn't even mutter any words out of my mouth that day. I was so emotional.
Emotional because the long road to get here was tough. Havelka was born in Poland, a country where justice and peace didn't exist. Living in a war-torn country meant food shortages, fear of another invasion, and the absence of free speech and personal freedom. With hopes of a new life and reconnecting with her father, Havelka and her mother immigrated to the United States when she was just 10 years old. It was their chance to start over, but it wouldn't be easy.
Everything was new for me, and then language. I didn't speak English.
And then to overcome the challenge of English being a second language I can't even begin to tell you how many tears I cried.
That was only the beginning, as living in Queens, New York came with its own challenges, bullying to be exact.
I can't even begin to tell you the stories from New York City, walking to school and, waiting for 3 o'clock because somebody wants to jump me just because I was different and, I didn't speak English.
Once the pair moved to Charlotte, Havelka says she kept making life mistakes, which she calls left turns, like cutting class and smoking on school grounds. When she did graduate, she graduated at the bottom of her class.
I was ranked 49th out of 50. And I will admit that to PBS for one reason and one reason only. Don't ever underestimate someone. Don't ever put a number beside them because that number does not define you.
And she didn't allow it to define her. But she did need to learn in her own time. In fact, after high school, Havelka didn't have grand plans for college or work. But with pressure from her mother, she worked at her mother's daycare and took classes at Central Piedmont Community College. But after she had her first child, Robert, life changed.
Too many left turns, And then next thing I know, Robert came and my GPA went from a 2.9 to a 3.6. And everything became clearer. I needed to do more.
More meant becoming a clerk in criminal court.
I fell in love with it.
But when she told her mother she wanted to go to law school,
honey, my heart stops. I was like, I was dreaming about something, but it was way behind my expectation,
Havelka says she felt she was meant to be a part of something bigger than herself. And bigger it was. She would go on to earn her law degree, run her own practice, and serve in the public defender's office.
Well, inspiration for me in becoming a lawyer, and then ultimately, truthfully, all along I hoped that I would one day preside over a court in Mecklenburg County, was when I was a clerk.
Havelka says she watched every judge closely.
It was interesting to see the personality come out in every judge, in every courtroom, and how they did things. But more importantly, how they touched people, and how sometimes compassion took you a long way, and then how sometimes tough love took you a long way.
Today, she shares the same lessons with those who come into her courtroom. She shows compassion as well as tough love and tries to build up those who stand before her. And now her son Robert gets to watch her in action.
I don't think I can describe how proud I am. It doesn't seem real. It really doesn't seem real. And I don't know if it's just because it hasn't quite set in, but again, it kind of goes with that mom sort of thing, right?
The 25-year-old is following in his mom's footsteps and plans to go to law school. He says his mom's journey has inspired him to not give up on his own dreams.
I think it goes without saying that I have a tremendous amount of support. So that lesson is just I myself, right, need to sort of keep that drive going. As long as I keep pushing, there are people that are willing to help whenever I lose strength.
In the meantime, Havelka is grateful that her mother had the courage to move halfway around the world. Judge Havelka knows firsthand about the hardships in life, but she also knows that anyone is capable of beating the odds and achieving their dreams, and that hope will continue, one case, one judge, and one courtroom at a time. For Carolina Impact, I'm Tanisha Johnson reporting.
Thanks so much, Tanisha.